Hey everyone, how's it going? Azrin here, owner of the Calgary Language Nerds, and welcome to today's Learn Gujarati with me podcast episode and, of course, YouTube video. Today we're going to have a very fun episode, a unique episode as well, where we talk about health from the perspective of an Indian person. Now, I am born and raised in Canada, and so everything about healthy life choices, food, nutrition, exercise, these are all things that I've grown up with a Canadian lens. But in different countries, we have different cultures, and those cultures influence how we view what is healthy, what is unhealthy. And I found this video in Gujarati with Gujarati subtitles where there's a Gujarati doctor talking about health. He talks about diet and exercise and what's healthy, what's unhealthy. And it's absolutely fascinating to hear an Indian doctor talk about health as opposed to what I'm used to, which is the Canadian perspective on what is healthy. I would say the most interesting things about this video are number one, the Western perspective, quote unquote, on health, and the Indian perspective, quote unquote, on health, at least based on the one video. Weirdly enough, share a lot, not weirdly enough, but they do share a lot of similarities, but they describe it in different language. As an example, I can totally imagine, in fact, I know people in my life who, when they talk about health, nutrition, exercise, they actually would say something like eat more protein, eat less carbs, less refined sugars, more fruits, more vegetables, right? Stop eating at a certain time. They might say things like this. Whereas this Indian individual, the doctor, he says the same things, but in different words. He'll say, you should eat less bhat. Bhat is rice. You should eat more dal, have more dal. Dal is that lentil soup, I suppose. Have more dal, so there's more protein in that, right? Have more maybe gator. Gator are beans. Again, beans have higher fiber, have higher protein, right? He says things like, he'll talk about the Jain, I think it was a Jain tradition. He talks about the Jain tradition and how they start eating when the sun comes up and they do not eat after the sun goes down or something like that. And that's the same thing as a Western doctor would call maybe intermittent fasting as an example, right? Like he might call it something like that. It's very, very similar, right? It was so interesting. So what I want to do today, first of all, I will put a link to the video in the description box of this episode. If you have an intermediate level or advanced level of Gujarati, you can just watch the video, turn the subtitles on, look up words you don't know. It's actually a pretty straightforward video, all things considered. It's very, very straightforward. They speak relatively slowly for an intermediate learner at the very least. And if you're more beginner, you can still watch the video, but maybe turn the subtitles. YouTube has an auto translation feature for subtitles. So you can just translate the Gujarati subtitles into English, and that should be decent enough for you. So let me share my screen. I've got this imported into Link, and so we'll just read certain portions of it, and we'll learn some new words. You'll get to do some listening practice. Maybe I'll point out some grammar points, and we'll just have some fun. All right, let's go. So let's start here. So એટલે carb-oriented diet. Actually, I'm actually going to simplify his language a little bit. So I may not read it exactly as it's written. I might actually simplify it. So એટલે carb-oriented diet એ ખરેખર આપણે ઓછું કરવું જોઈએ. So I'll say that one more time. એટલે carb-oriented diet એ ખરેખર આપણે ઓછું કરવું જોઈએ. કારણ કે I'll put the English too. કારણ કે carbohydrates જે છે એમાંથી might be a typo here actually. Carbohydrates એમાંથી glycogen synthesis થાય liverની અંદર. Okay, long sentence, let's break it down together. એટલે carb-oriented diet. So etle is a really useful, I'll type it on the screen for those who can't read the Gujarati script. Etle is such a useful word. Oh my God, it's my favorite Gujarati word. Etle means so. It's like a little filler word. You can put it anywhere you want. Etle carb-oriented diet, so a carb-oriented diet, a karekar is another great word. Karekar. Karekar is like absolutely, like absolutely. It definitely, it's certainly. Let's see what the dictionary shows us here.
Cut.
Yeah, really, right? Like it really, like it, not really in the context of really big, but like absolutely, right? It absolutely, એટલે carb oriented diet એ ખરેખર આપણે ઓછું કરવું જોઈએ. We should reduce it. We should do less of this carb oriented diet. Ochu means less. Ochu is spelled like this. I'll spell it out in English letters. Ochu. Ochu. So ochu is less, right? આપણે આપણે ઓછું કરવું જોઈએ. Here we have a grammar point, which maybe we've covered on the channel. I don't remember, but anytime you have કરવું જોઈએ, right? That means like you should do it. For example, let me stop my screen share. In fact, I can even show you a document here to show you an example of this. Um, here we go. Okay. So here's this document. I have this on the YouTube channel as well. Let me share my screen again. Here we go. This is on the YouTube channel. So anytime you want to have should, like, oh, I should do this. Like I should eat more fruits. I should sleep more. I should, right? We're gonna use these subject pronouns, right? So we have mare, tare, tamare, ene, amare, apne, elokone, right? These are the subject pronouns we use. So and then we're gonna use karvu, we're gonna use joye. So for example, we have here, right? Apne blah 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 karvu joye. We should do da 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 da. I'll write a couple more examples for you. Let's just use mare for now. Mare suvu joye. I should sleep. Mare kavu joye. I should eat. So kavu is to eat, suvu is to sleep. Mare pani pivu joye. I should drink water. So it's a very easy thing. The main thing we have to know when we talk about should is that we have joye at the end. So like it's the infinitive of the verb, so not conjugated. We have joye at the end, always joye. And then all we really change is the first word. Mare for I, I'll even write over here. Right. So for I, we're gonna say mare. For you, we're gonna say tare if it's informal, tamare if it's formal. For he, we're gonna say ene. In fact, I can show you over here. I already have written out, right? It's right here. Mare, tare, tamare, ene, amare, apne, elokone. Right? Some people could also say aparne. You could have aparne a karvanu che or apne a karvanu che. Both actually could work, frankly. Like this person in the video did say apne ochu karvu જોઈએ. He hasn't said aparne. There's not aparne. It's just apne. So that's how we talk about should in Gujarati. You memorize these. Mare for I, tare for you, informal, tamare for you, formal, ene for he and she, amare for we, exclusive, apne or aparne for we, inclusive, elokone for they. And then you have verb joye, right? Tamare pani pivu joye. You should drink water. Tamare email, I don't know. Tamare whatever. Kame javu joye. You should go to work, right? That's why we talk about shoulds. Okay, back over here. So આપણે ઓછું કરવું જોઈએ. So we should do less of our carb diet, right? So એને કીધું કે એટલે carb oriented diet એ ખરેખર આપણે ઓછું કરવું જોઈએ. કારણ કે is because કારણ કે right? કારણ કે because કારણ કે શું? કારણ કે I don't even know. Here we go. કાર્બોહાઈડ્રેટ્સ એમાંથી ગ્લાયકોજન synthesis થાય liverની અંદર. Okay, oh my goodness, so fancy scientific words, okay? So carbohydrates, એમાંથી is an interesting word. So let's break that down together. A, let's start with ema. Ema, let's even make it two words. It's one word in Gujarati, but we can separate it. It's like in that. So ma is in, a is that, right? So ema ti, if I add t, it's like, actually it's more like inside that. So ema is like inside that, something like that. Ma, in or inside, a is that. So if I add the t, ema ti, now it's from inside that. So from the inside of something, right? So carbohydrates, emati, so from the inside of the carbohydrates, from these carbohydrates, right? Emati, glycogen synthesis. I actually don't really know what that means. I don't know. Glycogen synthesis, thai. Thai is like happens. You could also have a thai che, right? Thai che is an option too. Both are correct. Thai che. Now, where does it happen? Liver ni under. Liver ni under. Liver is, well, we can write an English word, liver. Duh. Ni under means like inside of something. Very similar to ma. You know how a second ago I said ma means in or inside. Ni under is the same thing. Ghar ma, in the house. Ghar ni under, in the house. Pretty much the same thing. They're pretty much interchangeable. Some people will omit ni, and they might say liver under. No, maybe not actually. Liver ni under, I like more. I feel like some people might omit the ni, frankly, because they do sometimes delete this. Some people don't say it, but let's just say it's better to say it. Let's just say that, keep it simple. So glycogen synthesis થાય છે liver ની અંદર. So in the liver we get glycogen synthesis. Fascinating. Okay. Glycogen energy store તરીકે કામ કરે અને જ્યારે પણ તમે સ્ટ્રેસ અનુભવો કે જ્યારે તમારું વર્કઆઉટ વધી જાય ત્યારે એમાંથી એનર્જી રિલીઝ થતી જાય. Oh my goodness, what a long sentence. Let's break that down together. Okay. So glycogen energy store તરીકે કામ કરે. Let's add che at the end just to make it let's just add che. કરે છે. So glycogen energy store તરીકે કામ કરે છે. What is happening here? So what I love, there's something I love in this sentence that you can use all the time. This word તરીકે, right? તરીકે. Tariqe is like as. It literally means as. In the context of it acts as an energy store. I work as a teacher. Probably honestly, if you're going to memorize, it's the simplest way to really just like lock tariqe into your brain is to memorize the following phrase. At least I think this is the easiest way. Ho blah 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 tariqe kaam karu chu. So take your job, maybe you're an accountant. હું accountant તરીકે કામ કરું છું. I work as an accountant. હું શિક્ષક તરીકે કામ કરું છું. I work as a teacher. Right? So this તરીકે, it actually is a very common way to talk about your job in Gujarati. હું blah 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 તરીકે કામ કરું છું is a very common way to say I am this job. I work as this profession, right? So here it's glycogen energy store. તરીકે કામ કરે છે. So it's working, it's acting, it's working as an energy store. So I guess glycogen in your liver acts as an energy store, I suppose. I don't know. અને જ્યારે, I'm going to take this one out. જ્યારે તમે stress અનુભવો, and I'm even going to add a છો. જ્યારે તમે stress અનુભવો છો, let's add છો over here. Right, so it's actually very interesting to listen to him talk here. I mean, you're not listening, you're hearing me say it out loud, but it is very interesting that in Gujarati, not all the time, it's not like all the time, but it is possible to drop cho, chu, che, all those cho, chu, ches. It is actually possible to drop them. For example, um, hu daroj kam karu. I work every day. I'll write that on the screen. Hu, roj, or daroj, both are fine. Kam, karu. By traditional grammar rules, we have to put chu, right? Hu daroj kam karu chu. I work every day. But it is semi-common to drop, not super common, but you can drop that. Hu daroj kam karu. And that is actually acceptable, particularly in more casual speech. So what you're seeing that with him here, with him too, right? Jare tame stress anubhavo. It should be anubhavo cho, frankly, but he's dropped cho. We saw it even a second ago. When you go back a line, he said, glycogen energy store tarike kaam kare. He didn't say kare che, he just said kare. So that happens. It does happen more, I would say, in the past tense. In the past tense, it is both past tenses, there's two different ones. It is far more common in the past tense than the present. In the past tense, it really like, kale gayo hato. Like, yeah, like gayoto or gayo, real like it really, you can drop those, that che chu, like the past form of that, you can really drop it in the past pretty regularly. Okay, so anyway, back over here. Jare tame stress anubhavo, right? So anubhavo, let's write that on the screen. That's the verb is anubhavu, is the verb. Anubhavu. Anubhavu is to experience. So anubhavo is you experience. Right? So when you experience stress, jare tame stress anubhavo. This jare is like when, right here, jare. Ja. So when you experience stress, jare tame stress anubhavo, ke, or, right, ke, jare tame stress anubhavo, ke, jare tamaru workout vadhi jai, right? So jare tamaru, this should be pretty easy, I think. When your workout vadhi jai together means increases. That's like almost like a set phrase you can memorize if you want. Vadhi jai just means increases. Like this, you can memorize that as a set phrase. Blah 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 vadhi jai che. Blah 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 is increasing. Blah blah blah. Yeah, vadhi jai che. It's just increasing. That's a nice set phrase. Okay, it's spelled like this. If you can't read the script, I'll type it on the screen. Vadhi jai che. You can put at the end, right? Vadhi jai che. So jare tamaru workout vadhi jai che. So when your workout is increasing, emathi energy release thati jai. So emathi we saw earlier, from the inside of that. So from the inside of the glycogen stored in your liver, right? Energy release thati jai. Energy gets released. So thati jai is, I should probably make a whole video on that at some point. We have, someone actually left a comment. I think it was Ashley, I think it was. She left a comment on one of my YouTube videos asking about these jai expressions. Like Gujarati has so many of them. We have like, I'll give you a few, right? Like, let's say bhagi, jai, che, khai, jai, che, release. I'll even simplify it. Thai, chai, che. We have a lot of these, like there's a whole bunch of them where it's like something chai che, chai che, chai che, right? Is there another one I think of? Is there another I can think of off the top of my head? Let's just stick with these two. There's way more than three. I just can't think of them off the top of my head. There's just a lot of these expressions. So it's bhagi jaiche means he is running, he or she is running away. Khai jaiche, he or she is eating it up. Release thai jaiche, it is being released. So we have a lot of these jaiche expressions. We have a lot of them in Gujarati. We have a lot. And the easiest, let me stop my screen share. The easiest way to view these jaiche expressions, I would say, is it's actually relatively similar in English when we have idioms with the word get. Like I could say, I get a gift. That means like I receive a gift. But I get tired has nothing to do with getting anything. I'm just feeling tired. I get, the car, whatever, what's a get? I get lost. That means now nothing to do with receiving things or anything, right? Or like get up means like get up. Get down means like like there's a million things we can do with the word get. So the word get by itself actually doesn't really have a singular meaning. It has many meanings. It has many, 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 many meanings. So when we look at this blah, 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 jai che, like bhagi jai che, kai jai che, whatever, all these different sui jai che, right? He's going to sleep. All these jai che expressions, we have a lot of them. We have so many. It's almost better to treat that as a single verb. So bhagi jai che is to run away. That's just like, remember that as never mind those bhagi and jai. It's a single verb that means to run away. Kai jai che, it really is a single verb that means to eat something up really fast. E pani pi jai che, he's drinking the water very fast. It means to drink something very fast. It means to, a sui jai che, he's going to sleep. That one works really nicely in English. We have the same expression, but anyway. Okay, back to our text. So here we have Emati energy release thati jai. So thati jai che means like it is happening, right? Right, it continues to, it keeps happening. I like that more. It keeps releasing. The energy keeps releasing from the energy stores in the liver. All right, let's keep going here. I think that must be the host who says barabar. Barabar is like, okay, nice, I see, I'm following, I understand. It's like, okay, let's see. Yeah, just right. Barabar. Right, barabar it's a really nice word to know. You can use that to acknowledge that you understand what someone is saying. Barabar. Barabar has other meanings too, but one of them is just like you're acknowledging that you're following what the person's saying. Let's do a little more. Do I want to read the sentence to you? Let's see here. અને તમને થોડાક સમય માટે I'll actually maybe let's see what the next line is. Do I want to do this? Yeah, I can simplify this for you. અને તમને થોડાક સમય માટે એ એનર્જી મળે. Okay, so let's break that down. અને તમને is like to you, very similar to tame, but તમને થોડાક સમય માટે. So you, for a little bit of time, right? એ energy મળે. So then you get that energy for થોડાક સમય માટે. થોડાક is like a little bit, kind of like થોડુંક, if you know the word થોડુંક, right? So થોડાક સમય માટે, like for a bit of time, right? થોડાક very similar to થોડુંક or થોડું, if you know that word. Samay is the word for time. For is, well, for. Sorry, mate is for, excuse me. Yeah. Tamne e energy mare. You just get it, right? Mare is to get, right? Marvu. To get. It also means to find as well. Kind of two meanings, but marvu. Okay, should we do a bit more? Let me see. Let me actually look at the next couple lines, see if you want to do this or not. But again. Yeah, we can just do this one last line here, right? So there's all this energy. Remember, so we get all this glycogen storing in the liver. We can use that liver when we're stressed or when we have to do lots of exercise. But now we have a problem, right? You can see the English here, but there's no stress-related exercise, right? But હવે એવું કોઈ stress related કે વધારે physical activity વાળું કામ કરવાનું હોતું નથી. Okay. So let's do this final sentence. પણ હવે એવું કોઈ stress related. So now have we talked about a couple episodes ago. Have means now, but it means it's different. There's two words for now. One is atyare, the other one is have. There's two words. This atyare is like now, like literally now, like the word now in English. Have is like but now. It's like but it used to be like this, but now it's not. Have nati, right? So have now, but now, right? Have એવું stress oh my god, I can't talk today. Stress related કામ નથી. So now evu is like kind of like that. Evu, right? So evu koi. Koi is almost optional, frankly. You can evu or evu koi is very similar. Stress related કામ નથી. Right? So now there's no stress related work like that. Evu is like that. એવું કોઈ નથી. એવું stress related કામ નથી. એવું I don't know. એવું કામ હવે નથી. Those kinds of jobs, we don't have them anymore. Evu, you can have evu, let's see here. Evu even just like literally just like the sentence like એવું કાઈ નથી હવે. There's nothing like that anymore. એવું કાઈ નથી, right? And I think that's a good place to end here. Yeah, there's more I could say, but that's a good place to end. I think we've done enough here. That's a long enough video. Anyway, I had a lot of fun. I hope that was interesting for you. Hope you learned some new words and new grammar, so on and so forth. And I'll see you in the next episode. Aujo, bye.